Welcome to the Storytelling Classroom by Frame 360. In this episode, we will be joined by a good friend of mine who is a serial business networker. He will share with us insights on how to make the right business connections. My name is Robert and I am a full-time content strategist and a storyteller. This channel is all about helping business owners kickstart their content marketing and redo lessons, interviews, and content on marketing, branding, social media, and video production. With me today is my good friend Chris from Nimbus Design, so I'm gonna have him introduce himself to you guys.
Good afternoon. My name is Chris Dawson and I'm the business development guy for Nimbus Design.
What does Nimbus Design do?
We're a branding and marketing company. In many ways, I like to tell people that we help companies find their soul.
It's big, man.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's like the next Hollywood movie. Okay, I met Chris on a business networking meetup. I think, I'm not sure if he still remembers it, like years ago, right? So that was like really a huge part of my journey as a businessman because that's what convinced me to join BNI. I want to talk to you about this business meetups or, building your network.
Building your network, yeah.
For you, how important is trust in building business connections?
I would say it's huge. Because without trust, it would be really hard to take that next step, whether it's going to be referral or collaborations.
So trust in the form of what?
Believing that the person does what they can do and they can do it as well as they say they can, and that they're sincere in wanting to help you out or help out their clients.
How long have you been doing this, going around places, trying to meet people on this
networking?
Business? Yeah, how long?
I would say for about 6 years.
Oh, man.
Yeah, not too long.
Do you have like a number in your head on how many people you've met in the past 6 years?
I actually...
In the hundreds, right? Probably.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'd have to say so, yeah. Singapore is really good for networking.
First and foremost, it's a small metropolis, right? Like,
yeah.
Most of the business owners here like know half of the people that you already know, right?
Yeah,
that's how it works in Singapore.
It ends up being like kind of like an extended family.
Yeah, extended family, that's the word. When you start to build this business connection, for you, what is the best way to add value to this newly established business connection?
The best way to add value. I would imagine that to add value, you would need to know them first. Find out what is it their pain points, how is it they help their clients, and what value they bring to them, and what's missing. And then if you can work together. If there's no way to add value, then there's probably no way to make that trust get extended. What I've seen other people do is, again, just find out, is there anything in common? And then how they can work together. And it's through meeting many times and through conversations that the trust gets established and then the understanding is there. And only then can you add value. I don't believe you can add value immediately. If you try to add value immediately, it comes across as selling, and not true collaboration. And as soon as you start getting into that salesman mode, you start breaking down the trust if you've already built up any.
Yeah, that's, you mentioned that word collaboration. That's actually, I think that's actually the best mindset to have when trying to meet these people, because I met a handful of business owners who are there to really sell stuff to you, right? But those who try to collaborate, they are the ones who really make a mark, and they're the ones who you would probably give a call, right? Or when they call you, you would answer, right?
Right. Yeah.
Instead of the guy to say, "Hey, this is like." Give me your card and I'm gonna sell you.
Like cards, like you do Pokemon cards. I got these 5 cards and I've completed my deck. Yeah, the collaboration. It's I find that when you go networking, whether it's social networking or business networking or just wine and dine, whatever, not many people they're not of that mindset to collaborate. They're actually in the mindset of selling. So it's when you go networking, trying to find out who you can talk to and find that person that wants to collaborate, as opposed to who wants to sell to you or you sell to them.
So when you're just starting to build these connections, what are the things in your mind that entrepreneurs should avoid?
Should avoid when you're starting your networking journey? Oh wow, I've seen so many different types that I've actually myself I've gone through, and all the ones that I say you shouldn't do, I've actually done them. That's how I figured it out, because I had nobody telling me. The first one was, I think they call it being a wallflower, where you just go to the networking event and you just stand there and you're really quiet. You're just surveying the scene, I want to talk to that person? Do I want to join that group? What do they do? And you just sit there. And the thing of it is it's rare that someone's going to come up to you. So don't be a wallflower. If you're there to network, go network. Now, having said that, if you do go up to network, you shouldn't take your business cards and flash them out like it's money. You know, you don't want to just pass them out. Okay, and then say to your boss, okay, I passed out 20 business cards. Doesn't really mean much. Chances are, if you pass out a business card without anything behind it, it'll just go to the trash can as soon as the event is over. So when you go meet folks, you can do your introductions. Hey, my name is Chris Dawson. I'm with Nimbus Design. And then if you see them reaching for a card, you can reach for yours. If you don't, you can still give them yours. But after you give them the card, ask them what they do. So the second one is don't hand out your business cards as if you're passing out bills.
And then you leave, right?
Well, that's further on, yeah, and you leave, because then that looks real spammy, and you've actually left a mark, but not the mark you wanted. So if you talk about personal branding, you talk about first impressions, if you go up to people and you hand out your business cards and then you bounce, they're gonna be like, yep, nope, you know, there's a wobbly table, I'm gonna put your card there, and that's where it goes. Yeah. If you do start a conversation, I always ask people, not what you do, and I learned this the hard way, but how do you help your clients? How do you help your prospects? Because I find that if you say, what's your value proposition, you kind of get a blank stare. But if
That's
you can,
too technical, right?
it's too technical. It's very marketing speak, very corporate speak.
It's
and
intimidating also.
And it throws people off. But if you say, hey man, how do you help people? How do you help your clients? That's when they start thinking and they start telling you what they do and how they help. And if you can get them to talk first, it's always good, because then you can kind of get a sense from how they talk, the words they use, and how they approach you, kind of where they are. But then even then that takes a while. Are they spammy, or are they trying to sell you something? Are they new to networking?
Do you think every entrepreneur should have a ready story before going to this meetup events?
Most definitely. I usually have quite a few stories ready, but I've learned that from you. I'm a student. But the stories that I tell is not only my brand story, not why Nimbus is here, but then I find that when you speak to someone who's asking you how you help clients, you just don't talk about, oh, I help people achieve a 30% increase in their sales and they can increase their margin. You tell a story that does that, because that makes more of an impact. And I keep practicing telling my stories. One, that it's true, but it has to come across as sincere, not corporate speak. But I want to be able to put them in the position where they see themselves working with me, or they can see their clients collaborating with all of us. Yeah, but storytelling is huge, and I think they should have at least one. If it's not their brand story, then maybe their most successful project to date. And I would even go so far as to say, have a story about your ideal client. Even though it's fiction, it still showcases your capabilities. Storytelling is I don't think it's always about being 100% truthful. I did this today at 3 o'clock, but you can talk about my capabilities.
Yes.
And that's still honest. And you can spin all that around a story. And I think telling people about your ideal client is another good way to figure out, can we work together? Because if my ideal client matches your ideal client, then there's potential for collaboration right there. So yes, storytelling is very important.
Yeah, and I think having mentioned that, I think what stories do for business owners is, it starts a conversation, a two-way conversation. Because, in these business meetups, usually the setup is like, it's like the belly of the beast, right? Like You have 50. The goal is, to get 55 business cards because there's 50.
That's true.
Right? But, for some people, it's a risk to start telling stories a bit, because for them, their goal is, I want to, get in touch with everyone, but it's rewarding, I think.
Actually, you're absolutely right. When I first started storytelling, I trashed it all the time. I have my starting, I have my beginning, and I failed at the end. But the more I tried it, the more I realized that the people enjoyed it. It was a different kind of networking. It wasn't, again, features and benefits. It was like, oh, okay, feels like a real conversation. And what's interesting is if you start storytelling at a network session, people are very receptive to that.
Yeah.
I think the hardest person in the room to convince of your story is going to be yourself. Because when you start, you have all these ideas in your head and you're going a million miles an hour, but the other guy's like, wow, this is really cool. I understand where you're going with it.
Another important aspect of this business meetups is what you call the elevator pitch, right? So it's definitely, there has to be some component of elevator pitch in a way. What can you advise, entrepreneurs who's just starting doing this business meetups? Simple yet effective, not
Simple
too
yet
technical.
effective.
Yeah.
You and I both know that simple yet effective is hard to get to.
Yeah.
Because it's really easy to come up with a 5-minute elevator pitch, but that's not an elevator pitch. That's an escalator pitch, if it works. I have found that if I have an elevator pitch that's 45 seconds or less, it works out really well. I choose one aspect of my business that I want to focus on that night, because there's a lot of things that everybody does. So just choose one. And if the elevator pitch is good and you catch their interest, then you can go into the rest of your business with stories. If your elevator pitch fails, then just you keep trying. If it fails on you, then I could go to another person and try it. Like when I started off with my soul searching. So I help companies find their soul. That went really well. Yeah, because nobody thinks about, what, are you a preacher?
Yeah.
No.
Because the next question would be how, right?
Exactly, how. And this is when I would develop my stories. But if I go in and go, I'm doing branding and marketing, you can see there.
Yeah, like
I know 5 people who do that.
Like the first 100 person I spoke
Right.
to in this room.
You're branding, and she's marketing, but yeah.
Now I'm gonna give you a chance to do your elevator pitch in a way.
If you just incorporated your business, or you have a new business, what would be the next step? Chances are you've already got your address, you've got your products or services, you already know your features and your benefits. So what would be the next step with your new business that's been incorporated? It should be branding. So we help newly established companies find themselves as a brand, discover their brand story, their personality, and we do that with just regular conversations. And we even can help you do it on your own, because a lot of times new companies, they don't have the budget. So we can help them find themselves at the very beginning easily.
For our question of the day, what is the first thing that you usually say to a new business acquaintance? A lot of people in the community will benefit from this, so connect with me on the comment section and I will be giving you my feedback in a blink of an eye. Thank you for watching Storytelling Classroom by Frame 316. I hope to see you in the next episode, and please subscribe for more business strategy content like this in the near future.